I love running down here because it's local. It's about 45 minute drive from the house. I love the trail system a lot because it's safe. I'm big on not stopping. I want to just keep running so my momentum doesn't get interrupted unless I have to use the bathroom or traffic, because there are a couple of streets you have to cross. But mostly the trail system down here is pretty much growing. I mean, look at Georgetown Lewis Trail, right? It's flat. I love that, right? So I love running down here, but I like to venture out throughout the state or even into Maryland because it's different. If you go north, they have a great trail system up there as well, if you know it, but they have hills. Do I like hills? No, I don't. But I know they make me better. They make me stronger. But I say for me, anywhere in Delaware.
What's up, Sussex? Welcome to another episode of I Am Sussex. My guest today is the one and only Martin Rodriguez. Martin, what's going on? How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing great.
You doing great?
Yeah. Happy to be here, finally.
I'm glad to have you, man.
Yeah.
So, who are you, man?
Me? No one special. Just Martin. I don't want to be considered special. Just a guy that has came up, I'd say, in a different way from living in Mexico for a little bit to moving to the Eastern Shore, Delmarva. Believe it or not, I came where I had a little bit of nothing to, I don't want to say I have it all, but the way I'm living life, it feels like I'm $1 million.
Wow.
Right, because I do a lot.
Yeah, you are $1 million, brother.
I wish it was real $1 million, but yeah, thank you.
You are $1 million.
Along this area, people know me from running.
Okay.
I'm part of the Seashore Striders. I've been part of them for maybe a little bit over 5 years. But I started running with that group in my early 30s, and it transitioned literally from running the races to helping out to now it's like I help with almost any event that he has on the schedule. I've run Boston more than once. This will be my 8th time going back up, hoping to do it again next year, but we'll see because I'm currently dealing with some injuries, but I'm able to still run, so that's more important to me. Locally here, I've done a lot of the 5K races. I've seen you out there, I've seen your son out there, your wife, which is great to have people come out, even if they're just walking. Yep. It's all it is.
Yeah, that's why we do walk. We walk.
That's it. But you're out there, right?
That's right.
And I've done. I love doing the Rehoboth Beach Marathon because that is technically our local main race here in December. I help out with some other ones, but mostly Rehoboth is the one that I tend to do because it's the one where I can actually put all my training, hard work into it and come out with a pretty good result.
Why running?
Running for me is therapeutic, very therapeutic. If I have a bad morning, wake up, with bad mood, I just find running to be like a stress reliever. So for me, it's very, very therapeutic. But at the same time, when you say why running, honestly, I was over 275 pounds in high school.
Wow.
Right? Half the guy I am now. Currently, I'm about a 134 because of the training that I'm doing for Boston right now. It seemed to lose a lot more weight. But it gave me a way to be healthy, right? So was I not happy when I was that much overweight? I mean, I could say I was happy. I mean, I could eat anything I wanted to eat. But I knew it wasn't what I wanted later in life and started running in Selbyville, where I'm currently residing. I used to run around the track that they had in one of the schools. Didn't even know how far the distance was in the track, so I had to get online and find out because I didn't know anything about it. And little by little, I found the benefits of it. I was able to, obviously I lost a lot of weight. I was big into soccer back in my 20s. That's what I did a lot was soccer here, soccer there. But I knew the weight that I was at, I wasn't cut for a team. I usually did like drop-in soccer with some of the guys that would meet up after work, and it was just playing, kicking around. But I knew I wanted more. So began to run little by little, and I lost the weight. And by the time I knew it, I was like playing more than one league, which was good. You know, I was doing something that I like to watch on TV. And I love the sport, and I still love it to this day. It's just that I transitioned over to running. Running has taken me places. I mean, Boston being one of them. You know, who would I ever thought that I'd be doing your local 5Ks to marathons?
That's right. 8 times.
Going to be 8 times in 16 days.
How's that experience? Why Boston?
Experience is amazing. From when you start to when you finish, there's spectators all along this course. Windy, hilly, I call them mountains because we don't have hills down here, right? But the experience is unbelievable. Boston is one of the oldest marathons out there in the world right now. So the experience is amazing. You have to qualify before you can even run. You just can't sign up like the Rehoboth Beach Marathon or Coastal Delaware running marathon that we have here. You have to literally qualify and then get accepted because you got to put the application in. So it's not like, oh, I ran the time, I'm in. No, you got to still do some other stuff, which is the application, and hopefully your time is good enough to get in. And it's a difficult course, so it's a challenge, and I think a lot of people that do it, not only do they do their marathon to get into Boston, but then there's a challenge to get there because it's not an easy task, whether you're running under 3 hours, under 4 hours, whatever the time. If you're doing a marathon, I say it is a challenge.
Yes.
From start to finish.
And I know we were talking off airs about the challenges and the preparations and how, you know, so many analogies can be utilized to a day-to-day life. Talk to us about some of those things, and especially about when you talked about you got to qualify for the Boston, you know,
right.
That preparation, and even here locally.
Right. So for me, like if you compare running to everyday life, let's say, right? You have to put in the work. Every day you wake up, you got to go to work, right? Preparation for any marathon, whether it's Boston or something here, you got to put in the work. You got to put in the miles. You got to, whether you get up at the crack of dawn. I think me and you've met a couple times.
That's
you
right.
saw me running out there, and we were at, I think you were watching the sunrise one day, right?
That's right.
And here I am coming out of
That's
nowhere
right.
running, right? And we
Jumping
did a quick,
out the bushes.
right? And we grab a quick little thing you put on IG, right? And I was like, that just made my day.
That's
Some,
right.
you know, somebody just seeing you. Usually a lot of people see me, but that was pretty cool that day. But yeah, so for me, running is everyday life. You have your challenges, and in life, you have your good days, you have your bad days. Running is the same thing. You have your good days, you have your bad days, but it's what you do to make that day go forward. So if I have to start out and my run is not an easy run, or I'm just not feeling it mentally, those are the ones that for me benefit more, because you're having not a good morning. You're like, why am I out here? This is tough. But physically, I'm ready for the run, but it's mentally hard. So in life, sometimes it's hard. I mean, it's not an easy world out there. But if you just get through that day, the next day could be better.
Man, that whole clip right there just made me think of Joe Rogan, one of them Joe Rogan motivational videos you just did, because it's true, right? It's just pushing on.
Correct.
And like you said, it's the days that you don't want to. Once you do it, it's the days that you remember the most.
Correct. And it's almost like, I think I had one earlier this week. I was out there running, nothing long, just another easy run. And like I knew, like my training's coming almost to an end because Boston's not too far away. But then I was like, why is this so hard? I'm like, why am I even out here? And I'm like, it was all mental. But I got through it. And then once I got done, I was like, feel good. Like, it was hard mentally. That's what it was, a mental block. But I got through it. And the next day I had a hard workout, and it was hard running it. It was actually in hills, but it wasn't, I don't want to say it was easy, but it was mentally easy.
You know, leading into my next question, when I think of Sussex, right? If I was to sit back and say, you know what is Sussex, right? When I think of Sussex, for me, you are one of those things, right? For so many years, especially, I love the beach, right? I love,
Right.
as you say, I love State Park, sunrise. I just, now that the warm weather is almost here, going up and down Route 1 on my buggy, and you are one of those staples that consistently, when I see you and I think of you, put a smile in my face. So why Sussex?
I mean, you hit a couple good points. The sunrises are coming. Even this, sunsets are nice.
That's
I mean,
right.
I do a lot of pictures of sunsets. I'm pretty sure you've seen some of them.
That's right.
But they're like, I think Sussex has all 4 seasons, which I like as a runner more, obviously, because I love the cold days to run. For me, colder the better. But you get all the seasons, and Sussex has grown just like I've grown. I say I'm part of Sussex because I've seen everything come from where some of these developments that are going up. Back in the day, there was just a farm or just a piece of land, and it's grown just like I've grown, and I've grown around it. I've grown with it, and it's given me so much in return. I mean, I've met you. I've met the people that I run with every day. I've made new friendships, acquaintances, that it's just been part of me without even knowing it. Like, you see me, right? People see me running. They're either honking the horn or waving or flashing their lights, depending on the day. But they see me out there, and they're probably some of them are like, hey, if he can do it, why can't I do it? Which is true,
That's
right? Anybody can do it. It just.
And now that you say, if somebody's saying, if he can do it, I can do it, what would be some of those first steps someone thinking about getting into running should do?
I mean,
A good pair of shoes.
Obviously a good pair of shoes.
A plug for, I like the running company. I love the way they treat you in there. I know that there's New Balance on Route 1 as well, but it's just I go into the running company in Rehoboth. It just feels so cool, People are so helpful. So what are some of the first steps?
I mean, obviously, like you said, good pair of running shoes obviously always helps. But at the end, you have to be the one to take the initiative to get off the couch, get out of bed, or take the first step outside. Or if you're going to the gym on the treadmill or elliptical, it's almost like any kind of physical activity. You have to be the one to do it. You have to put that, let's say motivation to do it. Because if I force you to do something, you're not going to do it with a passion. You're not going to like it. It's always up to you to decide, hey, I want to do it. And once you do it, you don't just literally have to go into running. You can kind of like you do. You walk the 5Ks, right? That's you could say that's step 1.
Yeah.
But then if you want more, you're like, oh, wow, I walked the 5K. It took me 50 minutes. How can I get it faster? But that has to come from you. You want to be faster. So then okay, let me speed walk now. And then that would be step 2. And then you get out of speed walk. You're like, wow, I did it faster than before. How can I do it faster than the second time? And they're like, okay, let's do speed walking. Let's run a little bit. Let's jog for a couple minutes. And then I'll go back to speed walking. And eventually you're just going back and forth, where eventually you'll be running. And I'm not saying running like some of the fast times that some of these other runners doing, but it's faster to you because, you're doing it. You're now running. You were walking at first, but now you're actually jogging or running a pretty good, decent pace that you've done it.
Yeah.
And then after that, kind of like what I went through, I used to just do the 5Ks, and I was successful, right? But then a good friend of mine put me in a 10K, which is twice the distance of a 5K. And after that, I fell in love with distance. And now I'm all the way up to marathons and ultra marathons. And an ultra marathon, that's about 50 kilometers, 31.11 miles. And I never thought I'd do that, but it was on my list. And I did what I do, had to tell myself, hey, I can do it. If I can do a marathon, why can't I do a 50-kilometer race? And I did 2 of them.
What are some of your best tracks? Because I've seen you at the state park. I've seen you up Route 1. I've seen you in Rehoboth. So, what are some of your favorite places to run?
I love running down here because it's local. It's about 30, 45-minute drive from the house. I love the trail system a lot because it's safe. I'm big on not stopping. I want to just keep running so my momentum doesn't get interrupted unless I have to use the bathroom or traffic, because there are a couple of streets you have to cross. But mostly the trail system down here is pretty much growing. I mean,
yes.
Look at Georgetown Lewis Trail,
That's
right?
That's right.
It's flat. I love that, right? So I love running down here, but I like to venture out throughout the state or even into Maryland because it's different. If you go north, they have a great trail system up there as well, if you know it, but they have hills. Do I like hills? No, I don't. But I know they make me better. They make me stronger. But I say for me, anywhere in Delaware, I love to run. And everywhere I go is different.
That's what's up. What are you reading right now?
You know what? I was thinking about that.
Uh-huh.
I'm actually rereading another book called Green Lights, Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, that's a phenomenal
Oh, that's a
book,
great book.
man.
What do you say? All right, right? When I first read it, I don't remember exactly how he said it, but I know he said this is not a biography, which right there I was like, okay. Most people that you see their name on the book or it's them, it's a biography, right? And even when I'm rereading it right now, all I hear is just the way he talks in the films. Yeah. Like, it's in my head. Like people are like, you should hear the audiobook. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not a big reader, but if I want to read, I like the old-fashioned way. Yeah. Crack a book open and read it. But that's a great book. I just want to read it again. And it's like, even though I know I read it, it feels like I'm reading it for the first time over again.
Even as you talk and I'm, visualizing some of the experiences he had.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's like I thought he was the guy that like most of the actors there, Beverly Hills or Nice Mansion, but that man, he's
moving.
He's everywhere. I never thought that I thought he was just settled and just does his acting and go back home, nice place. But nah.
And I love the story about his parents.
Right.
The finger. It's just,
Exactly. It's a very good book. And I was like, you know what? I think I started it probably about a week ago. And I was like, I'm not rushing through it because even though I like to read, sometimes it's hard to find time to read. But I get it done. And I was like, I need to read this again.
That's what's up. What is a quote or a saying that you live by?
I said this a very long time ago. I actually went back to my old high school a long time ago. I forgot, I can't even tell you the date, but if you look it up, you'll find it. But I was speaking to an ESL class with one of my old Spanish teachers that used to teach there. She invited me in, and one of the things I said that, and I still live by it by this day, anything is possible if you put your mind to it. And at the end of the day, it's a pretty simple saying. I look at it like the way I did it when I wanted to lose the weight and everything that I've accomplished from not only personal life but in my running stuff. I put my mind into it, and here I am, right?
Yep.
So it's a small saying, but it does have a big, strong support behind it.
Yeah, you are. You're a big inspiration. And even just personally, one of the things that you represent to me, I've always desired to live a healthy lifestyle, but sometimes, and I can only focus on me, is that you find yourself stuck, not taking them steps, but forever. Every time I saw you, I'm like, that's like you live in life.
I am
movement. You moving. Correct. You live in life, man. Final question: is there a question you wish I would have asked?
Nah. Actually, you hit them dead on. Pretty simple questions, but there's a lot behind them. So they're pretty good questions if you ask me. I did do one favor for you, though. You asked me to count the medals and everything.
Yes.
I'm going to be honest. I had to stop.
Stop it.
Yeah. So
just to be clear, I asked him to when we talked about a week or so ago, I wanted him to tell me how many medals he's earned in marathons, 5Ks, by coming in first place, second place, third place? How many?
I got over 2,000 of them.
Stop.
And that's everything from the 5Ks to the marathon. And even marathons give you participant finishing medals. So I counted those. I got to the point where it was just too much to keep counting. I was like,
in the how many years?
About 10 to 11 years.
So in a decade, over 2,000 medals.
So pretty, if you wouldn't have asked me to have done it, I probably wouldn't have even touched them. I would have just left them as is. I brought boxes in because I had to go from one box to the other. And, there's some of them are little to a big trophy or a nice plaque. I even have some inside the main house, top of the refrigerator or on a coffee table. But yeah,
What does that represent to you?
Honestly, if you would have asked that question to me maybe 4 or 5 years ago, it would be oh, well, because I won. What do you expect? I won it. A good friend of mine based out of Georgetown, he told me a couple years ago, and I passed this on to other kids that I coach or people that I personally coach, and I was like, they want a medal. That's what they want. That's their goal. I want to win this race, or I want to place in my division and get a medal, get a trophy, get a plaque. And he told me, and I tell them this, it's not about that anymore. I don't care if I get a medal or win a race or place. I just want to be better in the running perspective, be a better runner than I was before. I want to be stronger. I want to be faster. So winning is out the question. I want better times. And when I coach the kids and individuals, it's I'm your coach to get you where you were at yesterday and make you better tomorrow. Whether obviously it's a couple months of training, but it's not about winning. Back then, I would have told you, oh, it's about the win. I'm getting me a medal. Now it's if I get it, I get it, but it doesn't mean anything to me. I'll get it. I was oh, this past weekend, I did a half marathon up north, and it was a training run. And I started conservative, and little by little, I started to pass people, and I heard people on the course where's this guy getting this energy from? But I was doing my thing. I was doing my race. I eventually caught up to, I think I went from, out of 270 people, I ended up 15th overall, but I passed so many people on the second part of the race. And it was hilly, and I was passing them going uphill. And I got my participant medal, which is one of the ones I counted, but I also placed in my division. But that wasn't my goal. It just happened. So I tell people, if you do good and you place, I'll be happy for you. But at the end, if you started out not as fast as you thought, but then you finished real strong and fast, and what we call a PR, personal record, that's my job to get you better. So to me, I'll be happy that you got a medal, but I'm more happy about your results, your performance, because that's what I like to do, is make sure you get better at the end of your run. And
hey, man, you just said something so profound, because that's where I find myself at. I'm at the gym, at CrossFit, doing whatever I am doing now, even with the eating and my personal lifestyles, is that I'm focused on my race. You said I was doing my race.
Correct.
The more I focus on my race, the better I do, the better I feel.
Correct.
It's when we start looking to the side.
Mm-hmm.
But the more I focus on me,
correct,
the better the experience.
Correct. Yeah.
And the results.
Yep. And then whatever else you get, that's just more icing on the cake at the end of the day.
Gracias, mi hermanito.
Yep.
Appreciate you.
Anytime.
Sussex, until the next time. Thanks for watching Yo Soy Sussex. And for more episodes, go to IamSussex.com.